After a whole week with strong icy wind from east that made a stay on the dike impossible, finally the wind had died out, and I was back on the river. How wonderful! At first the tanker Mersini came up the Elbe on her way to Hamburg. Mersini was built in 2009, is 183 meters long and 32 meters wide. She came from Rotterdam Botlek. Whoever came up with the idea to paint this 34-year-old bulk carrier in rust brown is a real canny person, and the red from the deck house draws the eyes away from further rust. This works. In any way, the Yeoman Bridge measures 250 to 38 meters and came from Glensander in Great Britain. Coming from her maiden call to Hamburg was the 2024 built Mærsk Cincinnati. This container ship has a length of 366 meters, a beam of 51 meters, and was sailing to Antwerp. The freighter Marietje Marsilia is 15 years old, has a length of 126 meters and a beam of 15 meters. Her destination was Porsgrunn in Norway. The 70-year-old freighter Björn M transported waste for further recycling from Heligoland to Wischhafen. The vessel is 48 meters long and 9 meters wide. Nothing happened at first, but after a while the box mover mole proficiency came by. This ship has a size of 293 to 40 meters and was built in 2007. Her destination port was Wilhelmshaven. Casterwater is a 16 years old tanker that was underway to Rotterdam. Long is the ship 106 meters, wide 17 meters. This is the self-discharging bulk carrier Sandnes. She measures 167 to 25 meters and was built in 2005. Her destination was Jelsa in Norway. In the morning mist, the Colorado Express came from Antwerp up the Elbe. Built in 2008, she is 306 meters long and 40 meters wide. The container ship 6 drove from Hamburg to Bilbao in Spain. She is 155 meters long, has a beam of 22 meters, and was built in 1999. This is Weg van Rijn. This vessel has a length of 149 meters, a beam of 23 meters, and is 20 years old. She was underway to Antwerp. The 2009-built Marburg was on feeder tour from Bremerhaven to Hamburg. Her length is 158 meters, her beam 24 meters. From Kolding in Denmark came the freighter Samira. Built in 2004, she measures 80 to 10 meters and drove to Stede. With a speed of 5.5 knots, the container ship CMA-CGM Alcazar came up the Elbe. She came from Marsak's lock in Malta. This vessel is 294 meters long, 32 meters wide, and 18 years old. On afternoon then, the view finally got clear. There the tanker ANE came by on her tour to Rotterdam. ANE has a size of 117 to 21 meters and was built in 2009. Edith is 20 years old and should put on some makeup. In any way, she was underway to Szczecin in Poland. Her length is 140 meters, her beam 20 meters. Sailing from Hamburg to Polis in Croatia was the freighter Wilson Saar. She is 29 years old, 74 meters long and 10 meters wide. From Buetsfleth came the tanker Trans Emerald. She measures 115 to 19 meters and was built in 2005. Her destination was Ceuta in Spain. The One Maishan is a 366 meters long and 51 meters wide container ship driving under the flag of Japan. She is 7 years old and came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. The SFL Hawaii is 271 meters long, 43 meters wide, and was built in 2014. She was on tour from Hamburg to Wilhelmshaven. The container ship Mærsk Benguela was built in 2009. Her length is 223 meters. Her beam 32 meters. She had a huge amount of white reefer containers on board and was underway to Tanger in Morocco. The freighter Esprit came from Eemshaven in the Netherlands. Built in 2011, she is 90 meters long and 14 meters wide. This is ANE Mærsk, the first built ship of a series that will later consist out of 18 vessels. These are the first large container ships that can be operated fully by the use of green methanol. As methanol has only about half the energy density of ship diesel, the ship needs larger tanks than are usual for ships of this size. Therefore, to optimize the use of space on the ship, the deck house was set onto the forecastle. That way the containers can be loaded up to full height directly behind the deck house. This construction also improves the line of sight and gives these vessels their unique look. ANE Mærsk was built in 2024, is 350 meters long and 54 meters wide. She can load up to 16,000 standard containers and came from Felixstowe in Great Britain. Coming from Rotterdam Maasvlakte was the container ship CMA-CGM Aquila. She is 16 years old, 363 meters long, 46 meters wide, and drove to Hamburg. Munksund hurried up from Bremerhaven to Hamburg. This ship was built in 2012, has a length of 158 meters and a beam of 24 meters. In cozy -6 degrees Celsius on the dike, the cruise ship Iona came down the Elbe. Her tour went from Hamburg to Rotterdam. Her length is 344 meters, her beam 54 meters, and she was built in 2020. The Clear Ocean Ajax is a crude oil tanker that was built in 2012. This vessel measures 250 to 44 meters and came from Las Palmas in Spain. From Kiel Canal came the feeder ship Nordica. This ship is 152 meters long and 23 meters wide. Her age is 14 years. The nice light made the age spots on the one Helsinki well visible. This container ship was built in 2012. Her length is 335 meters, her beam 46 meters, and she came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. The roll-on roll-off freighter Kugelbake drives an exclusive charter for Airbus, and so she tirelessly transports plane parts between the factories in Finkenwerder and Nordenham. Kugi was built in 2009, is 79 meters long and 19 meters wide. Underway to Rekkefjord in Norway was the freighter Buvik. She measures 88 to 13 meters and was built in 1994. The Ostertal HF 567 is one of the last fishing trawlers that are still on duty on the Elbe. The trawler was built in 1981, is 21 meters long and 6 meters wide. She drove to Wischhafen. From Hamburg to Bremen drove the bulk carrier Amber Lagoon. She measures 180 to 30 meters and is 10 years old.